Okay, so here we go. Cool. Sorry, I'm late once again. I'm hoping the lag doesn't mess with me too much. Fingers crossed. No Fame, what's up? Good to see you. Now, the reason we're late again is this lag. I really look forward to this stream, but technically it's a whole different beast. I'm going to sound like I'm slow or something. I can't, I don't think I can do this. How's it going, No Fame? Good to see you. I'm hearing myself with a very, very slight lag, and I don't think there's any way of fixing that. Anyway, we're going to try and do this all the same and make it more about the music. So I am going to have to spend a little bit more time getting my head around. Here we are. Getting my I'm just pulling up a project. I'm going to get some sound happening for you guys. So we're working on a soul track which I'm producing for Andrea, but we're making a drum and bass mix, which Testock will be very excited about. Just got to adjust my display settings to make the screen a little bit bigger for you. Like that, but hopefully that worked. Let's see. Check. Yep, we're still there. Let me just see if this looks a bit better. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. You'll be able to see that. I might even make it bigger. Yeah, that's going to be easier for everyone to see when I share my screen. Okay, so you're going to have to bear with me here, fam. This is going to be a massive learning curve for me. Hearing my voice with a second delay and being able to string together sentences. And B, just getting the technical aspect of trying to mix and everything. It's very different to just DJing. So I'm going to try to share my screen with you now. Here we go, display. It's not what we want. Neither is that. I had it working before, but now it's not wanting to work. Wait there. should be working. Yes. Okay, we have a win. Okay. Now, ideally, I would have had it around the other way, but anyway. Let me see. Let's see if I can change this. Dana, old school vibes. How are you, sister? Good to see you. I think we're going to have to roll with it like this. So, okay. Now, the cool thing about this stream, oh, that lag. It's going to mess with me. Okay. The cool thing with this is all the material's ours. So we can have this go to YouTube and all the other platforms. The only problem is I'm going to be talking like this because the lag's messing with me. Okay, but let's persevere. Maybe if I play the music, I'll be able to talk over it a little bit more streamlined. Okay, so there we go, we've got some sound. Just going to see if I can get the face cam going as well. Oh man, wait there. Here we go. You couldn't hear any of that, could you? Okay. I'm just going to mute. I'm going to mute me in the headphones. Monitor off. There we go. Can you guys hear me out there still? And what we're going to do is I'm pretty sure I set up. That's going to be a lot better. I can talk now and not get tripped over. It was really bad. It's like a second delay, so everything I was saying was just messing with my head. I couldn't string together a sentence. So we're going to be able to move a little smoother through this now. I'll be able to hear the music in my cans, but not myself. So, welcome to Hittin' Switches. Let me fix up my camera so you can see me while I'm talking to you. There we go. Now you can talk to the back of my head. I had a few of the angles set up, so because what I was initially going to look at doing today was I've been meaning to actually install this. Where are we? There. Which is there. Sonar Works, which is we've got all the acoustic paneling set up in the studio, And what this software does, it analyzes your room. So when we put the acoustic panels and everything up in the room, how they say you do it is you get a laser like this, you have your speakers, you usually sit in between your speakers, and I would love to figure out a way of doing this, but I don't know if there is. I don't think there is a way of me having a mic and having my monitors and live streaming it. It's you end up with a feedback loop in my head anyway. I don't think there'd be a way of doing it. So it'll all be in the cans. Yeah, I'm going to turn that camera off because it's not going to really do us any justice. But the only thing, that's not a biggie anyway, but basically if I hop on top of this mic, now, I don't know if where is it? Oh no, my kids have been playing with my laser. It's gone really faint. But basically, let me see, I might have a charged battery here. Triple A's. No one ever has triple A's. No, not a biggie. Anyway, the idea is you put your laser on top of your speaker and see that panel over there? So my right-hand speaker would shoot directly at that panel. So what you're trying to do is minimize the reflection of sound in the room. And so when I set this up, you want your speakers to be at head height and both of them be hitting you like a triangle with even sides, and you're in the sweet spot. So where I am right here, the back of my head, this is the sweet spot, basically where that camera is shining. So if I'm sitting here in front of my monitors, I'm hearing a nice balanced sound. And you don't want the reflection, because if you have reflection in a room, what it does is it sends sound waves off in one direction, they come back, they clash with others, it cancels out sound, and then you're not hearing the true sound for when you're mixing tracks. And that's where that software comes in handy. So you set up all your acoustics to minimize it, but then any shortfalls, that software actually picks up on it and calibrates your sound settings, or your mic settings and speaker settings, I believe, to neutralize those frequencies, which gives you a really flat response and makes it easier for mixing music. I'm going to turn that camera off right about now. And there it goes. Okay. So we'll just be back to the two main ones. That will come back in a second. There we go. In fact, we may even, oh no, we'll leave that one there. It'll only be a quick one anyway. Okay, so let's get stuck into this track. Now this is a track I've been working on for a little while. I think we started writing this. Don't have much time for production. That's why I'm really excited about doing this stream, because it gives me a chance to actually get in here and have a play. Okay, I'm just going to minimize my screen a little. Oh no, that's cool. Okay. There we go. Okay, so. That's the one. Done. Okay. So, there we are. There's the camera. Okay, so we're going to move that over. Here we go. Cool, I knew I set it up last time. Okay. And this guy is going right in like that. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Now, like I was saying, The track we started on was how can I do this? Yeah, okay. The track we started on, we actually did on our, it was our honeymoon, I think, was it? I can't even remember, but I had a night, I believe, or 2 nights without the kids. So we had a romantic evening, and then we actually got stuck into some music because Andrea loves music. She sings, and she's been wanting to release stuff for quite some time, but it's been really hard. Like anyone knows that's got kids, it can be hard to find time to do stuff for yourself. But yeah, so we started this, I think it was about 2 years ago now. And it was just a soul track. Now I'm going to try and actually just I'm going to get rid of the drum and bass element and just play, I don't think I've shown you guys this one. So I'm going to get rid of the drum and bass elements, which are just samples that have come across at the moment just to sort of get a bit of a vibe. And we're going to stick to the hip-hop vibe that I originally laid down. Okay, I think this is it. Let's have a listen. Just to give you an overall idea of the track. Now, one thing I do with all my tracks, and probably discussed this on the last one, is I bust them all out, and look, the way I do it is probably obsolete now. I know Ableton are continually updating their software and making it more intuitive and putting a lot of extra features in, and which make your workflow quicker. However, you need to be familiar with those updates to utilize them. And because I've only just installed 11, I'm not very familiar with it at all. And I'm not even sure if I spent much time in 10, to tell you the honest truth. So how I do things is probably a little bit old school. But yeah, we're here to get our hands dirty and learn something new. So let's have a listen to this track anyway. The one thing I didn't like about this track was I thought the beat was a little busy. Too many little ghost kicks and stuff. And I'd probably like to get real drums laid down on it eventually. And this will sound familiar because this is actually the theme music that we've used for Raiders of the Lost Ark video promo, which is on our Twitch page under trailers. So we haven't had Andrea lay down any vocals on this one yet. She has written them, but we haven't recorded any vocals down yet. Does that sound okay out there? Nice. The mouse outfit in the place. How you doing, brother? Big love. can hear from the tempo, we're sitting around, what are we, 90 BPM, so that was why I sort of thought, oh, let's have a play with the D&B re-edit of it. And I wasn't sure if it'd work or not, but as you'll see later when we start throwing some of these loops in, and because I'm not a musician, I am predominantly sample-based to get the ideas down, and then we get musos in to do parts. So that double bass is that was actually the Trillium, previously the Trilogy by Spectrasonics. Beautiful sounds come out of it. Spectrasonics are amazing. Yeah, man, classic. I wish I had the coin. I will one day. Just got to get in the studio and do more, but I'd love to invest in their other Omnisphere. I've heard so many amazing things done with Omnisphere. Do you run Ableton, man? So back in cool, man. Yeah, this is the first time I've fired up 11. I literally just did the updates. I've spent the last couple of weeks just trying to update all my drivers for everything. And it's going to be interesting. I really want to get my Nucleus desk going here. It's just a controller, basically. But yeah, took me forever to get it working with my previous OS, and I haven't actually tried getting it to go with this one. It's got like I couldn't get it to work. It's got its own IP. I couldn't get it to work with my internet on, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's the track thus far anyway, and that's in its. That's what we came up with. Pretty much in one evening, the nuts and bolts came together. We came up with 3 different tracks, which are all slightly different. And then I started fleshing this one out and getting the arrangement going. Yeah, I think my camera's playing up a little bit there. Anyway, but oh, wait there. Still on 9 there. Yeah, oh, tell me about it, man. I updated this this system. Like my MacBook Pro is fine for Ableton, but when COVID happened, we ended up trying to pivot a little, and we took out some of our super, and we invested all these cameras, and I was trying to get the studio set up for the stream. That's why it took me so long to get on. I noticed you're reasonably new to the stream as well. Yeah, I ended up, the MacBook Pro just kept falling over with the streaming, with the video animation processing and stuff like that. So we ended up investing in this beast, and but now you have to deal with the all the software and hardware compatibility and stuff. So, yeah, but it's forever learning. That's for sure. But yeah, originally back in, I'm trying to think when it was when we started out. So the original software I was playing around on. See, I got into this before I got into DJing. DJing sort of came as a result of handing out production tapes and people saying, "How do you do this live?" And I was like, "Oh, good question." But basically we were, back in the day, my uncle was, he's an audio engineer and worked in radio. And he had triple dat and a Denon with, I think it was about, might have been 1%, might have been 3%. I can't remember. It wasn't much. It didn't have much pitch shift, but there was a pitch shift. And so he was using triple dat. I think it was PC. I can't be certain. But that was my first introduction to audio software and editing. Prior to that, I did work experience with him when I was 16, and it was reel-to-reels and splicing. Hello, hola, hermana, how are you? La Uruguaya Latina in the place, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it was going way back, and then went from triple dat to, I ended up getting an insurance payout as a kid. I got done over pretty bad in a train station in Riverwood in Sydney by 4 kids, and I think I was I was just turned 18. I was going out for my 18th and ended up in hospital. Someone hit me in the head with a bit of wood with nails in it and laid me out. Woke up with footprints on my face and all sorts of stuff. But yes, all good, sister. All good. Good to see you. But the upside of that was about 2 or 3 years later, I got an insurance payout, and that was for about $8,000, and took all of that money and went and invested in a computer. I think it was $700 for the CD burner, and you throw out approximately you'd throw out 9 in 10 of the CDs. That's how faulty these things were. It was a Mitsubishi DVD or CD burner. It was hilarious. So what we'd do is we'd pitch a sample by 1%, burn it to a disc, throw out 9 of them. 1 would work, put it back in, pitch it again, record it out. It was very, but I'd make these mixtapes. And it'd be one of those. It was an old beast. But that's where it all started. And I was actually Acid Pro by Sonic Foundry. That for me was just loop bass. I spent 12 months just sampling and looping 70s funk and hip hop and stuff. And then went from that to, I moved up here and caught up with the guy, basically met up with a funk band here on the Gold Coast. And ended up writing music with the bass player. And we've been doing a lot of stuff since. Not enough. We've got a lot of stuff sitting, as every producer does, sitting in the on hard drives. But produced different stuff with him under a lot of different aliases, different styles. But basically, he got us into Pro Tools because that was more for live instrumentation and stuff. Then went to Logic. Really enjoyed Logic. That was when it was eMagic, and you paid, I think it was eMagic did it, and it was like over $2,500 for the Pro version. It was insane. I remember paying that, and then a couple of years later, Apple bought it and sold it for $400. It was like, what? Paid $2,000? I swear that $2,000 was for the manuals. The manuals were like telephone books, which you never read. But they looked cool on the bookshelf. So anyway, I went from that to Ableton and never looked back really. I do love Logic and recently purchased a version of it just to have, because I've got some really cool old projects. Cool, sound horrible, but cool ideas that we could transfer over, and a lot of recording that we did in Logic. So anyway, there's the backstory. We're going to move on. But haven't done enough of this for quite some time. But anyway, let's have a listen to how some of these elements now sound when we take a different spin on this. We're going to have a bit of a play around. Now, what I did was a hack that, again, now there's a lot of tools that are now available to producers. Yeah, cool. So I actually last time I was playing around with this, I bust out the D&B beats to a separate bus. So that's cool. I've got total control here. So on the panel here, for anyone, I know there's going to be all sorts of people that are at different levels watching me do this. So some of this is probably going to bore the tits off people, and other people will be interested. But basically, the reason I put the buses in is it gives you more control when it comes to mixing. It makes it really easy to bump out your acapellas, your beats, your musicallas, if you will. And when we were doing our releases with our label, we did that. And it was interesting when you sent the promo out there, how sometimes you get a turntablist that just wanted the beats, or you got a house DJ that just wanted the acapellas. So having those things is really cool, and it just diversifies the range, the reach for your brand. So even though it's maybe not your art in its entirety, it's a part of your art, and it's your name still getting out there. So we always made it almost, our release packages were almost like DJ tools to a degree. Not quite stems, but not far from it. You could have taken the musicalla, the acapella, and the beat, and basically recreated the track on the fly to a degree, which is stem mixing. So anyway, let's have a listen to this. So what we did with this track was one of the hacks that I used, and this is what I was saying before, one of the hacks that I used is we get all our sample libraries, and back in the day, they're getting better now, they're getting more intuitive without a doubt. Hey Orange, how are you, man? Good to see you, man. Hope, how's London treating you, man? You settled in? Yeah, so basically what we did was we had mixed in key, and we analysed all our sample libraries. Now, some of the sample formats sort of make mixing key shit itself. So it's not as easy as just grabbing all your folders of samples and going, boom, there you go, analyse these. You had to sort of make sure they were the right format to start off with, otherwise it was going to just freeze or crash. Don't know if they've overcome that or diversified their media types. But basically what we did was we analysed all the samples and tagged them. Now you could tag it with their Camelot wheel, which I think I brought this up last time. I discussed this last time we were on. Or you could put the key. And I prefer to put the key. For years I used the numbers with my music, but I kind of wish I had the key, because the key, the way I look at it is if you're DJing 5 days a week and you've got the key that it's in, and most software, even the hardware, these like the CDJ 3000s, which aren't CDJs per se, but they actually have all that key information, and you can change the keys. And I think the CDJ 2000s had the key information, but didn't allow you to change the key. But Serato's been doing this for years though, and prior to that we were using mixed in key to analyse the libraries beforehand until Serato brought out their own. But the way I look at it is if you've got the key there and you're playing it every night, well, maybe your ears become accustomed to, oh, that's an A, that's a C, that's a D. That was another thing that I was sort of looking at as a non-musician, sort of being like, well, I'm getting paid to practice analysing notes. But basically, by analysing those sample files and having the key put on it, generally and the BPM for that matter, you can put the BPM into your search bar up here. Let's do it here, I'll show you now. So hip hop soul, here we go. That's all of my sample libraries I've got for hip hop and soul. I can go, say 90 BPM and search. And that's gonna give me, all those folders there have stuff in them that are 90 BPM, but if I now put A, only those ones this is if they've all been analysed. I don't know if they have. Again, I've been a bit slack and I've got a lot of sample libraries since then. But they are the ones that have got samples in A, and you just click through and there you go, A minor, and there's your samples. So it made things, it's all about workflow when you're doing production. And this is something I'm really looking forward to getting back. And I imagine with all the new intuitive updates with Ableton 11, there's going to be a few things that I'm learning along the way. So, but these were our old school hacks that I used to use to sort of speed things up. So if I was looking for, and you could even go further, strings. So look, so you've got even less things there. You could even search your whole library. I don't always like to just stick in a genre folder either. Like depending on what you're doing, like sometimes I'll be looking for something with a little bit more grit, so I might go to the dubstep, I might go to the garage, I might go to something, you might be able to pitch it down, you might even just take a snippet of it. Effects are really cool. I remember watching the Timberland thing and him talking about sound recordings and giving things a uniqueness, and like anyone that's really killed it in production, like Hank Shockley and Keith Shockley, were also talking about, you know, not wanting to, what was Keith was saying on his stream, not using the 808 kick. So they, instead of using the 808 that everyone else was using to create something unique, what they did was they used, I think, bass notes. And they just pitched the bass notes, and but it gave them a fatter and a different sound, a unique sound, similar but different. And so finding those unique things, so that's why sifting through different sound effects, you might find something, and you may not use the whole loop. It may be a one shot, it may be a loop. You may just take a snippet of it. You may process the shit out of it, but it ends up giving you a bit of character on your sounds, which yeah, give you that. And that really, that sort of stuff, it can, that's where the magic in the tracks is. Like, you can come up with the hook, you can get the arrangement, but I feel giving it character and space in your breakdowns and creating the right amount of tension is where the track is really gets an opportunity to shine. But anyway, so with that in mind, I went through a heap of drum and bass. Had the idea. I looked at the tempo of this, 90 BPM, and I thought, okay, let's just see what it'd sound like. And I went through a heap, and they were a bit gnarly. This is a pretty cool track, so I wanted to keep it cool. The samples we got here are not set in stone. It was basically the closest thing that spurred the inspiration to do more with it and even go further. So with production, and back to the whole workflow thing, you don't want to invest a heap of time in an idea if it's shit. So if you can use those samples to get a little bit of an idea of what it might sound like, and that gets you excited, then we go with it. So anyway, let's see what your thoughts are. You heard the track before, so now I'll play it with what you can see here on this. So basically, these are all different variations, and I think I put them together in a building state, but not 100%. I think each of these has different drum and bass stems. Actually, let's listen to them on their own. Here we go. And they're just loops. Here we go. So we've got some hats, cymbal, a ride, hat. Maybe that first one was a shaker or slightly more open, a different sound, but there we go, they're the drum and bass ones. So there we've got the building blocks basically for the whole thing now. And these are the full thing with variations. Cinderella, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy birthday for the not yesterday, the day before. And love to PC. Everyone wish Cinderella a happy birthday. Big love, sister. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Okay, so I'm sorry, we're doing a drum and bass remix of a soul track. So hopefully the soul's strong enough to keep you engaged. But yeah. So the beats, these were probably the most subtle beats I could find. And that's more of a fill. Okay, these were probably the more subtle out of the sample libraries I had. And it was enough to give me an idea. So now let's have a listen to it with everything else in there, and you'll see what I'm... Now these, again, these first ones, maybe I should lay them out in... I haven't got these in an arrangement in any shape or form, really. They're actually going to sound horrible like this, but maybe we'll just go to the full loop and have a listen to that. Just to get an idea. In fact, we'll put the loop on. So this is the loop function just here in Ableton. Something they haven't changed in a while. I tell you, the one thing that tripped me up with Ableton the most, and it's the simplest thing, is the... Where is it? It's the automation. I swear I've Googled that 2 or 3 times now. They changed it probably 2 versions ago. But you used to be able to select it here, but now it's just A. You press the A button and it comes up, which is awesome. It's awesome. But again, just remembering any of the updates. But here we go. Let's have a listen. Now, what I might do is we might move the loop around and have a listen, because there's different parts of the track. So here we go. So it gives you a bit of an idea. I'm just going to select some of these and move these out. Let's have a play around. So that's a drop there. So just have a bit of a play with, I think that'll work. Let me drop to I don't even like the other one for that matter. It's a little bit much. If we're going to go to a drop, probably want to make it even more dramatic. Not that dramatic. What do we got here? What we might do is we'll zoom in, and that way we can actually see our files. And I should name these. Okay, so I have shakers, hat, drum percussion, hardcore. We want that sort of when we're climaxing really. Again, that's a climax. I think these hats were every weird. Again, I don't really like the sound of this, but we're just playing around with taking away and creating that tension. So we go from sort of a peak in a track and then going to the breakdowns. And there's a lot of things you do. Like what I'm doing here is by no means what it would sound like when we're done. But because you end up putting crashes in and effects and sweepers and again to accentuate the shift in the track and to introduce new elements. Like it's always cool to introduce new elements by having something preempted or sweep into it or take that out. Yeah, see, something like that would be kind of cool. We just snip the kick and use the kick with the hat. That could be kind of cool. What we'll do is we'll even give it its own channel like that. What I generally do, you see I've just grabbed these and I've pushed them all to the side. So once there was a lot more, when I was going through the samples, I'm just listening to it over a loop going, no, okay, that's kind of okay, yeah, that's kind of okay, that's kind of okay. And then we culled it down from like, I don't know, 20 samples to about, and they all ended up being, most of them ended up being the same sounds, which is what you want. It's basically a kit. If we wanted to, in fact, I probably would have found the one-shots and could have put it into one of the drum machines and used it that way as well. But for just getting an idea to see if it worked, the loops was the quickest way to sort of do that. So, and then, again, so many ways of doing this. This is a really cool thing about Ableton. You can go into the, I always forget the name of it. What is it? You got the arrangement window, and the awesome thing about Ableton, you got the live, what do they call them? This view. And you can basically do a song arrangement in here as well. And basically you trigger the samples over here. And that's really cool. And I've done a lot of tracks that way where you end up just with all these little samples being triggered, and you do it on the fly. Like you actually just vibe out on the track, and like you're doing it live, and press record in the arrangement, and it does all of your arrangement for you. It's really, really, really cool, and awesome for doing live stuff with as well. Okay, or you can take the samples out of this, throw them into the drum machine, and do it that way, or you can just snip them and paste them in on the beats as well. So going to just shoot that. I don't know what this is going to sound like. Let's just. So I've left that sample there to see where the kicks are. Line it up a little. We might make it vary that a little. One there and there. Let's just have a listen to what that's going to sound like. It could sound terrible, but let's just see. And we want. Okay. Shift these ones over. Duplicate that. Slowly build it like that potentially. Let's see if that bounced out correctly. Okay, so. And then we'd potentially have something that like a big subtone, I don't know, like some sort of explosion or something that emphasizes the end of that beat, like a crash. Just so it's not so, it's gone. And sweep into this. You see what I mean? Like even that effect that we had there in the back, that it's the same thing. It's creating tension before the drop. It's all about that energy and emphasizing, and you can have it move around, but you generally on the one, like you want, yeah. But yeah, so that's just where it starts when it comes to, okay, we need to break this down, we need to build it back up. Now let's just keep going. What we might actually do is we might try and flesh out, because we've got an arrangement there already, which makes it really easy. Now you can see here as well at the top of the page. Now I think I explained this maybe last time. This is something that I like to do for a few reasons. At the top I put these markers in, and the reason I do that is, so here we've got beat, intro, chorus, verse, rap 1, bridge, chorus, verse, rap 2, bridge 2, chorus 2, outro, finish. And the reason we have those markers in place is numerous reasons. So when you're tracking vocals and you've got your vocalist over there where Deadpool's head is, that's our fancy mic protector for our condenser mic over there. So when the vocalist is over there in the corner, we can have this up on the screen and they can actually see, well, we know more, we're in the driver's seat here and we can give them prompts, but it's so we can just navigate around the track a lot easier. And oh, good night, sister. Thank you for coming through. I know this isn't the most riveting of streams, this one, but thank you for coming through. Always good to see you. And yeah, I hope PC's all right with his yeah, teeth are not a nice thing to toy around with. I've still got my wisdom teeth. Every now and then they flare up, but I've heard so many horror stories. I don't want to get them out. Even the dentist said, "Oh, they're too far gone. You don't want to get them out now." So sending big love his way, and to yourself as well. Much love. Happy birthday again. Yeah, so again, just to help with workflow. So, and the same goes with the buses, the same goes with color coordinating everything. One thing I noticed is as well. Like if we go and we listen to the track, like it's good for finding mistakes, having the buses in place. Because when the whole track's going, you're going to miss things. But if you, like for instance, I picked up on one earlier, like so if I click on, we solo just riffs and we go through the riff and we just play this. If anything's out of place, that's not meant to be bussed to that bus, we're going to pick up on it a hell of a lot easier. Because when you start getting, your track's got this many channels and some will have a lot more. So we can see everything that's green here should go to riff. What I used for that. That's a sample, the guitar pluck. See, that's it. That there, that little run. That's an example. I don't think we used the whole loop. We just took a bit, and those as well. Like they're just little pieces that you take of samples. Just got a bit of reverb on that. EQ'd. That's it there. EQ'd and medium ambience. There you go. Strings we got in there. What do they use for that? Sounds like a sample too. It is. You can hear it just ticking over. I got some really nice string soft synths. We got the whole Native Instruments complete there with some really nice strings. I could almost get rid of that if we wanted to. The arpeggiator, what did we use for that? That was modular. So that's Arturia. Again with the reverb and the EQ. And with all of those plucks, let's have a look. Just going to check out that guitar gap effects. Ever so slightly. So again, when it comes to mixing, so you'll hear that GAT is, I don't know if you're listening in stereo, but I've got my headphones on back to front. I don't know why I've got in the habit of wearing my headphones back to front, but that was panned off to the left ever so slightly. And when you've got a lot of things that are sort of sitting within the same frequency range, that's how you make space for everything. I'm actually wondering if, no, it's just reverb. I was just wondering the pulsing on the string. I'm pretty sure it's just the sample ticking over. But sometimes, I've done it with other tracks, is you can sidechain it and get that pulsing happening, which is really cool. It just, again, a lot of house music does it. You can even have a kick sitting silently, and I've got one on this track, do I? No, I don't. But see how I've got a channel here right at the top, just there. Just see it when that paint animation is not going over it. But it says, it's SC kick, sidechain kick. And that can be really cool, predominantly with house music, but there are no rules. And what you can do is if you set that there with a beat, depending on what sort of side chain you want. Drizzy, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. Hope the family's well. What you can do is you can send any of your channels to that side chain and have it create a bit of a pulsing, again with the tension. Like the idea with the side chain is to have it, use it on a disco finger track. I'll maybe we can pull that open later and I can show you. But yeah, it gives a similar effect to what we're getting with the sample being snipped there, but a little bit more dramatic, and you can tweak it in and out with the timing and try and get it to work with your elements in your track a bit more. And but it works really good with pads and stuff like that, and strings and stuff like that. So anyway. So there we basically went through the track just listening through by soloing the riff mix, bus, sorry. And I didn't hear anything else that wasn't meant to be there. So that's a good thing. But that's the one of the upsides when it comes to mixing down your tracks later by having everything routed to your bus, like to a bus. Now I know Ableton does groups as well, which I believe would probably be the intuitive hack that they've put in place. I think they've made it really easy now to do this sort of stuff, but I've done it the old school way and created it all myself. But yeah, so what you would essentially do is, like I like going through and listening to the bass with the beats on their own and making sure they all sit, and then once you're happy with all your elements being clean and certain samples not getting channeled through to another one, because what happens is in each of these buses, you will potentially have an EQ and maybe some other effects specific to that stem, and you don't necessarily want everything being processed the same way. In some circumstances, in a lot of circumstances actually, like I'll try and keep it minimal on the buses with the effects and just apply, how do I say this, like I'll apply the hardcore sort of effects on the individual tracks, because you'll find like in here there'll be elements within our riff that we want to sound a different way, that we want more reverb than say something else. Getting ready to move house tomorrow. Oh, damn, man. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, that's never fun. Orange, who was on earlier, just went through that. Man, sending you a big hug. Hope you get through it okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to actually try and arrange these drum and bass beats as a guide around our project. So, bridge. Okay, and I'm going to use our guides here. So we've got chorus. And what I might even do, I actually want to just have a quick listen to what this sounds like. So we're going to layer up all of these individual drum parts. Just have a listen to what they sound like all layered up together, whether they make sense. I'm assuming they probably would. So we've got shakers, rides, hat, A, hat B. Okay, so we need hat That's it. Possibly. Yep. Let's have a listen to what this sounds like. Okay, let's just listen to the beat on its own. I just want to see if all these elements are actually from the same, are meant to go together. Yeah, that kind of works. Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Yeah, you got to take the week off when you're moving, man. It's never an easy to do, that's for sure. So either take the week off yourself or pay someone else to break your shit. Okay. So that sounds okay. Doesn't sound exactly right. I think the only difference in these is there's a slight fill at the end that's different potentially right there. This is the same one. Let's see. They sound the same to me. They look the same as well. Sound the same to me. Yeah, they are. Okay, so I've got them labelled as different, but I don't think they are. So we can get rid of right there. Does look different ever so slightly right at the end. I'm going to lay these up on top of each other. Have a good look. There is slight accentuation on the last kick. Another snare in there or something, maybe. I think so. Yeah, it is. I think so. Has to be. I think there's one there, but this one's just louder. 6 1 half a dozen the other. It's really not that different. But for the sake of having variation, which we like, we might just keep it. Okay. So the climax out of all of these, that's the one there. That's got the rides and everything going through it. So, and it does sound different to what we've got here. Oh, ah, shit, I got both beats going. That's why that sounded weird. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that, because that's the climax sort of beat where everything's happening. Now this may not work. Again, we're just playing around with it. So we're going to try and... What are we going to do? We're going to give it its own channel. No, we'll just leave it on the one. So what we'll do is, I'm going to throw that where the chorus lines are. And this arrangement isn't set in stone, it's just what we did. Sometimes when you're doing your arrangement and you're coming up with your markers here with the different bits and pieces, you can copy another track that you really like the arrangement of, and you can literally lay that track down and just put your markers in over the top of that track, provided it's the same BPM as your project. It should line up. But what we're going to do, I've got a feeling the arrangement of this is going to change, because I'm going to want some pretty euphoric breakdowns, which would essentially be these bridge sections, I think. Yes, definitely. The bridge sections are our breakdowns, because they come before the chorus. So that's where you'll get the most momentum. You know, you'll break it down, you'll make it melodic, and then bring it back with the chorus drop. So we may expand those bridge sections out, but this was a cool little, just put that there, that was a bit of a breakdown. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to put this one into, now your chorus can still build, so we might use that. That's got a nice fill on it. Put that there. Let's just have a listen to how that sounds. Like we go. Now, see, I don't like that because the drum sound different, even though one's stems. It's not going to work. Oh, excuse me. Damn, it's not going to work for me. But like I said, we're just in the playing around stage, so using the loops to shortcut through to whether or not we get sort of pursue it. It could definitely happen. That breakdown needs to be twice as big just to get the energy build and build that tension a little bit more. And each of the elements in there, I'd probably put a bit of reverb on them, make them splash out. Chikachula, hello Mana, how are you? Good to see you. Just doing a production stream today, trying to do this on Wednesdays to force me in here to use the software. And like riding a horse, supposedly. How you been? Yeah, so we can even do that now. We can make that bigger. So what I'll do, and you know what we'll do, I'm going to take these out because they're not going to work. I don't know if they're going to work. Take all of these. So any samples I like, but I'm not currently using in the track, I just drop them out here. Keep them off the arrangement, but they're just there so we can call on them later. Okay, so it just sounds too different. But what we'll do is I'm going to drag these out here as well. We might use them, we mightn't use them. But for the purpose of this experiment, what we're going to do is we're just going to stick to these broken down stems here and then try and build it out, get a bit of an arrangement. And then we can always come back and revisit the drums. We can always just use it as a guide, a fancy click track for a drummer to maybe even lay down some live stuff. That would be you know, the ideal scenario, I guess. Or we just spend a lot more time looking through samples and programming and stuff like that, which I probably wouldn't do on a stream because it can be like, this is probably boring enough as it is. So so much so that I don't even know if we'll stick to this format with this particular stream. I'm actually looking at ways that we can make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more interactive through eventually. I've been waiting almost 12 months now for my CDJ stands to arrive, but they're dual CDJ stands, so I should be able to fit a sampler over there and the CDJs and the laptop all above the turntables and do live sampling and potentially beats and stuff. Fingers crossed, I don't know. That's just an idea for later. Makes it a little bit more fun. Because the funnest part is when you're coming up with the hooks. Mixing down and doing the arrangement and everything, well, that's a bit of a science and an art in itself, but very tedious, listening to the same thing over and over and over and over. Okay, so let's, like I said, we're going to use all the existing drum elements we've got here. Select those, copy, and paste. Oops, shit. So the rides sort of made it climax. So we're going to push the rides out to here. And the secondary hats picked up the speed, so we might even halve them so there's a build in the chorus even. Wait there before we do that. Dupe that over, dupe that over, and dupe that one over. See if that works. Dupe this one over. And then we're going to go to the wrap. And the wrap, we can thin it back. So chorus we want. And look, this could change as well, because when you put a vocal down, a vocal is an instrument in itself, and backup vocals, it's like a whole arrangement. It can then, whenever you start recording different elements onto a track, the track can go off in a totally different direction. You might end up with 2 or 3 different tracks all off the backbone of one. So again, these are just evolutionary stages of the arrangement. But let's, for the sake of this experiment, we're gonna make. So I'm happy with that drum. Let's just have a listen. So it goes. Should just keep building up. I think that's still too much, maybe. Let's put these over and put I've put the wrong ones. Okay, maybe that there. Maybe it'll work. Let's just have a listen. the same sample. That's not right. Oh, here we go. Okay, so that's got to be B. That's got to be B. That. Get the idea though. We're just trying to build tension on that second loop. We might put in some, maybe, I didn't want to bring in the kicks, like the additional kicks. We might be able to drop the odd clap, maybe, just to, and splash it out, put some extreme reverb on it or something. Let's have a listen. So if I copy that, and then we throw it, here, and then let's find an extreme. Oh shit. Reverb on that. So over here to audio effects. Get. Oh, there, I've got to get rid of my search. There we go. Audio effects. We just want. Reverb. There we go. Ambience medium I like using. So we'll just put, in saying that, you can make it extreme, but we can tweak it. We'll just throw that on as the, okay, so this will just make it splash out a bit, and we can increase the size of the room, and so it's not, so this is what it'll sound like. That's with a medium reverb. This is with a larger sized room. Yeah, so, but I don't know if we've got that in the right place, but let's just have a play here. Put before we do, let's just get them placed where we want them to be placed first, and then we'll play around with the reverb. And they don't have to be on the one like that. Put them off. feel. Okay, so let's just need one more maybe. So this is where you can lose a lot of time with your fills, but this is where with what makes or breaks a track. Again, I don't want to spend too much time here because it can be a little bit boring. But let's. I don't know if it needs another one or not. Let's have a. We'll just play it. And see, that already sounds so much better than the other beat because they're tied in. They're the same parts. What was happening with using the other loop? There were parts in it. Look, they may have been the same parts, but they've been mixed down by whoever produced them in the way that they were mixed down. Now we could try and copycat that and figure it out, but I've got a feeling there was actually elements that were different. So. We could be there forever trying to figure that out when it's probably easier for us just to use this to get an idea of what's going to work. And then if we want to go and set up a drum machine and trigger in sounds ourselves, which is really cool to do because then once you've got your rhythm set, you can just sit there and scroll through hundreds of sounds so quickly just by clicking on where is it? Like, I haven't got it set up to do that, but you can basically just sit there with your arrow down button and just click through and it'll sample the different sounds, which makes it really cool for finding the right snare and the right hats and stuff like that. But I'm hoping to do more with the drum machines and stuff. At the moment, we're just doing sample-based stuff. So, but I'm hoping to do a bit more with the sampling and the drum machine side of things with the machine, which we purchased during COVID and haven't used at all. So I'm looking forward to actually dusting that off and learning a little bit about that and being able to use that. There's some amazing sounds that came along with it as well. And we've even got the Ableton Push here beside us, which again, we purchased for the studio during COVID and haven't used. So hopefully over the next, if I can keep a strict enough schedule and do this stream each week, we might dip into that, but I need to watch a few videos on just getting it moving, and then I can start learning on the stream a little bit with you guys, I guess. Okay, so let's get back to fleshing out this arrangement. So I'm kind of happy with that. I won't worry about the reverb at this stage. That's more of a mixing thing. We can do that later. So we've got breakdown. Yeah, it definitely needs to be longer. I'm picturing those snares going splashing out a bit. Now we pick it up again. Oh, the ride. Oh, that's what I was going to do. We were going to get rid of... Oh, we're going to leave that in. We're going to half that one. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. So we go. Yeah, cool. And now we build it up. Again, these transitions need to be, so even the chorus section is too short for us to really, it needs to be doubled. Everything needs to be doubled. So we can get better introduction and give each section a time to breathe. So we'd want that to just chug and keep going, and then introduce that hat now. And then the same with the ride. The ride comes in there, but we'll push it back. So maybe I should expand these now. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll expand the choruses and I'll expand the breakdowns, both of them. Probably easier to do it now anyway, maybe. Okay, let's do that. So, there we go. Chorus intro. Might leave the chorus intro as half because it's just the intro. We got the first. Okay, so we're going to double this one up. So, okay, I'm just going to select this. Actually, no, we're not. I'm going to select this. Select all of this, and we're going to move it over. So we want to double the size of the bridge, so we're going to move all of this over here. Geez, it'd be nice if all of those markers moved with it, but they don't. But that's all good. So we're just going to move all of them individually over like that. Go to there. I'm going to have to move them again as well. Maybe. And that has to go to there. Yep, that's right. Okay. We're going to have to move again. So then what we're going to do is select everything here and duplicate it over to there. So that'll give us our extended break. And that chorus is going to there, so that's where our chorus will start. But then we want to select the chorus. So we're going to do the same. Go down the bottom. Oops. Chorus. We're going to duplicate. So we'll go from there up to here. Select all that. I'm going to move that. I think you can insert as well. I'm not 100% sure. I should have a look actually. So we're going to move all of that over here. Make sure you keep it. Yep. There we go. And that's moving over to there. And there's our double chorus section now. Let's hope this works. Okay, so I'm going to click that and then duplicate that over. Yep, that looks good. We're going to move everything else over again. So, and we're going to have to do this a few times. So we might even Is that right? Is that one okay? Oh no, that one's okay. Okay. But then we're going to want to do the same with this one. So we're going to select our things are going to get in the way here. So these which were off the panel before, we're going to have to push out a little bit further. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or understand what I'm doing, but essentially we're just doubling up the size of the chorus and the breakdowns, because I'll say they're the most important part of the track, but it depends on the style of music you're making too. But when you're doing drum and bass, like maybe not so much with soul, but because we're doing a drum and bass edit, you really want that that space to create that journey. And I guess, you know, a clear example of that is like, I guess there's radio edits of drum and bass that wouldn't go as extreme like this, but if you were to pull out a full length normal drum and bass track, they're probably 6 minutes at least, 5 to 6 minutes, whereas your soul tracks are generally 3 minutes, 4 minutes, depending on whether they go into like crazy jazz interludes and take you on a journey, which then is a different thing altogether, because jazz you can have jazz tracks that, you know, go for at least 6 minutes, and some that go even longer. Some of Herbie Hancock's things are massive. Okay. So we want to dupe that bridge section, which is our breakdown again. I think I was in the process of doing that. Okay, here we go. So we're going to grab that and drag that over one. Why didn't that move? Try again. One. Yep. And select everything on that channel and duplicate it. Yep. And then we're going to do the, that's these out now so I don't get confused. Out 4, out 4, oh wait there. That was 3. It was 4, that's right. Bridge section is now doubled. That's perfect. Now we just need to do the chorus section, double it. So again, we're going to select all of that to the finish. And we're going to drag that out another 4, so to here. Yeah, that's right. Yep. And we drag that out. Oops. That out. And then we dupe this. Okay. Where are we? Okay, cool. Okay, so that gives us now, I'm going to have to go back and fix these up, but it gives us a little bit more closer to our drum and bass edit arrangement, in the sense of how long we want the breakdowns and the chorus sections to go. Happy with the intros and outros at this stage. Again, until we're sitting and listening to it, I might think otherwise. Hopefully I don't think otherwise. Mind you, pressing of what I've just done, but Apple Z is our best friend at times, so we can always undo it, but I'm sure it's going to be okay. Now, what that means is that this section here that I've created, it just means I've got to now rethink that, because we want that section to build and not be repetitive. So we'll have to rethink how we do it. But look, for the sake of this, let's actually, let's chorus. Oh, wait there, what have I done? Bridge. Oh no, what have I done? What did I do? I think I've made it too long. Just the last two. I think the first ones are okay. But I've ballsed up. shit, that's hurting my ears. What have I done here? Those strings sound like they were doubled up. I don't remember doing that. I must have pressed duplicate when I was hovering over it or something. Oh shit. Okay, so because we've moved things, shit, you know what I've done? I don't think I copied the automation over. Okay, so I think that's easy to fix. I think it just means I've got to grab the automation from here. It'll be here, potentially. Cross our fingers. Paste. Duplicate. Let's see. Altered my automation. I didn't cut and paste it over, so it's undone the mix. Right there. Let's just have a look. I'm just going to undo. There you go. I'm going to go back and just see where this came undone. So the final chorus is actually double the size of the bridge. So let's just try this one more time. I'm going to try and, instead of just doing it all and not listening to it, I'm going to listen to each step of the way, make sure we're getting everything. Because obviously I didn't copy the automation that time, so it was throwing the mix out completely. Okay, so let's select everything all the way down to the master and all the way out to the end like that. Let's drag that over and let's just have a listen. So hopefully it transferred the automation. Transferring the automation. Okay, so I've got to figure this out because we've got a decent mix happening there and we don't want to lose all the automation we've put in place. So again, this is me fumbling my way through relearning Ableton. So I'm pretty sure you can have the option to copy your automation over. Just check where the automation is for starters. I don't think it'll be on the master. I wonder if just selecting, and it's on strings, so have a look. It's not on the buses. So it's going to be on the actual channel. So I know the one it's doing it on, it's the actual strings. So might be the reverb. Okay. Let's have a look. Just going to have a look. Just going to see if that was my editing on the samples there. But I actually don't mind that. It gives it a bit of tension anyway. The sample clicking over like that, it's almost like a side chain. So that's not a big thing. You can't really hear it in the track until you're soloing it on its own. And like I said, if we want to get fussy with it, we can replace it with some actual strings. Sample strings, obviously. Okay, so I've got to figure out why this one, when we move it, is not bouncing, where the automation is. So it's not, it's the compressor. No. So as soon as I move this off here, we lose. It's all right. I should be able to fix it. We want the arrangement to do what we want it to do anyway. let's just move it and fix it. Actually, you know what? Edit. That's a shame. Nice. Okay. So we'll just drop all of this over. That over. Okay. Now, strings are going to get thrown out here again. But that's okay. So what we'll do, these ones, paste over these ones. Those ones. Pasting these ones. Okay. So so that's kind of working. I don't know what was going on with the with those levels. I don't know why they jumped out when I moved them. But now I've just noticed that the next bridge and chorus we don't even need to. Oh wait, there. What's going on there? Oh, I've got to move. These out. Okay. So. These are just my markers on the arrangement format. Okay. So we've got to expand this bridge section. That chorus section's fine though, unless we want to make it extra long for the outro of the track, which we could. Oh, cool, Testock. What did you, how did you do that? Test announcement. Cool. What are you playing around in? Is that Stream Elements or is that in Twitch? Okay. Let's see. We'll expand this next one. Yeah, we're definitely expanding that one. So same thing. We're just going to all the contents. Move it over. Just that much. And we're going to grab all these and move them out again. Deja vu. Stream Elements. Yeah, cool, man. Anyone tuned in? Big up. Welcome to Gold Coast, Australia. We are Respect Music. My name's James, and we're forcing ourselves to get in the studio. So by saying I'm going to be here for all of you and doing a stream, it forces me to actually stick to my word and schedule and treat it like a 9 to 5 to a degree. When I say 9 to 5, I love this. This is what I love. But having a young family always puts this on the back burner. So it's nice to be here to do this. There, cool. Okay, I'm going to leave that just how it is for the time being. We may expand that last chorus line, but we'll see. So let's get the rest of these beats in. Actually, let me just fix this first fill. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to duplicate that. Paste that there. Oops. Then we're going to have builds there, and that builds there, and that builds. Need something else. Maybe a percussive loop would be nice on this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a folder. I've got a heap of drum and bass samples. So we're going to go find our sample library. It's not desktop. iMac, here we go. DJ Disciple, how's it doing? Man, we release them as songs eventually once they're done. Actually, no, we don't. We just do them and then we put them on hard drives and never release them. That's pretty much what we do. But and these beats, man, the beats we're using currently are straight off sample libraries, so I wouldn't be selling them on anyway. But we're just going through using some sample library loops to. We've got a soul track, and basically we're trying to do a drum and bass re-edit. So we were just having a play around with some of those samples to to validate it before we dive into it and start programming up our own beats potentially. Yeah, but no, we don't do enough beats to sell or yeah. I would love to get to that point, but that's why we're doing this stream. It's to force my hand into actually getting in the studio. I got the best studio I've ever had in my life now, but I've got 3 kids and a struggling entertainment business and stuff. So it's been put on the back burner for a long, long time. Anyone that produces understands that it's a labour of love, and we've got to put food on the table first. Yeah, but hoping by locking this in our schedule, we'll do this each week, which will dust off the cobwebs for me, and hopefully we'll turn out some stuff and start releasing some stuff, which would be cool. Yeah, man, we get there. We get there. Pretty stubborn in that sense. And the music never goes anywhere. Might go away here and there, but I tell you what, coming on here with Twitch has really got me excited about music again, which has been awesome. And I think it's because I get to hop on here and play, like, man, I got like so much stuff here beside me. I haven't even listened to this stuff. Like, this is like on Friday we're doing our Digging in the Crates show, which is just me basically looking for samples, tagging up the records, and there's so much awesome stuff here. Like Geraldine Hunt, like a lot of it I don't even know. Like I've bought them and it's been sitting here for years in some cases, decades in others, and I just need to find the time to listen to it. But Twitch has given us that platform to do that, which is really cool, and it's got me excited about music again, which is awesome. So what were we doing? We were looking for some drum and bass, some percussion. So let's go into our library, genre kits. What do we got? Drum and bass. There we go. Now we'll open that as a add folder. Cool. So now that should have added, here it is, drum and bass. Adds that whole genre folder to our library. Now I can go up here and search for percussion. And it says that all of these sample libraries have got percussive through and until we find something. What I might do actually is we will bring up our beat and just solo it. So we'll go back to the bus, we'll just select our solo, our D&B beats. We'll go to the chorus section where the beats are all out in their element, like here, and we'll loop that. So throw this loop over beats. And we're going to start previewing some percussion to go with this. I might even strip out, actually we'll move it over to this one, get rid of the rides, they're just, that's a bit better. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll just have a listen to some percussive loops, see if we can find something that's going to sit in the pocket with this, and then that will give us, I think, maybe that tension builder for the breakdown. Give it a go anyway. Okay, here we go. I like that, that's kind of subtle. So what we'll do is, I forgot to put the loop on, didn't I? Okay, so we'll leave the loop on. And what we'll do is, these are the other loops we put aside that we thought may work, but now I'm starting to think they probably won't. Might be able to use some of them as fills, elements of them. So I'll keep them there, but what we'll do is we'll start dragging over the ones we like out of this. So this is kind of the fun part of doing music. It's where the building of the loop and everything, or the hook of the track and the general beats and everything is the fun part. Mixing it down, fine-tuning it, potentially getting rid of samples and redoing them so you've got more space to mix and more space to build and break down is where it becomes a little bit more tedious. I won't bore you guys with that. Probably bored a lot of the watchers, no doubt, so far. Hope you're holding up okay, Test Talk. Okay. Let's keep going through them. Again, that's subtle, but it's kind of cool. We'll just put it aside. Oh, that's the other beats. I'm going to just stick with the one we've got here. Good to hear, brother. Good to hear you're still sane. This sort of shit can drive you batshit crazy, that's for sure. I need to make that text bigger. I can't see. I think I've got it as big as I can get it to go. Scaled, larger text. Oh shit, don't want to do that. Oh shit, what have I done? I just flipped all my shit upside down. Okay, so maybe we go back to scaled. That's bigger, that's better. Okay, we might, what's this say? The screen is not currently set to the recommended resolution. Configure your PC resolution. Okay. Has that made it bigger? It has made it. Has it made it bigger for everyone out there? Can you see that a little bit more now, Test Talk? Oh, it's just made the screen. Oh, wait, there. Here we go. I can make it bigger. 2 seconds. Let me fix that. It's made it. Yeah, it's made it smaller on your screen. It's made it bigger on mine, but it's shit, yeah, no, that's not going to work. Okay. Go back to how it was. What have I done? Maybe I need glasses. It is very small, the text on the screen, though. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't see it. Didn't come up on the screen here, but it came up on the actual monitor screen that it was the wrong resolution I was trying to set it to as well. So I'll try and get it back to how it was. It's just not giving me the option now, which is really strange. Really strange. Display. Odd. Ah, here we go. That's what we want. So we will that's still not it. Yeah, there we go. We'll just leave it. I'll just leave it how it was. We won't play around with it. I'll just squint. It's fine. Okay. So let's back to where we were, finding percussive loops. What we're going to do is we're going to just turn down that whole loop, because some of these percussive loops aren't going to be that loud. So again, upside of having the bus is we can just turn it down. 2.5, I'll just remember where it was. Okay. There we go. You need me to boost my microphone? Check 1, 2. Yeah, I can turn my microphone up if it needs to be turned up. Oh, you know what? I'll just turn the master down. We'll just turn the whole. Turn the master down. Actually, I should have done that instead of pulling that down. Let's back up to where it was, 2.5, and I'll just pull the master down on the track. Because that won't affect my my mic. You can hear me normally when I'm talking without the music on, can't you? Okay. So let's bring that down. Check 1, 2, here we go. Does that sound okay? You can hear me okay talking over that? Sounds good? Fingers crossed? Okay, let's keep going with these percussive loops. You know what, we might be more specific. Perk can cover all percussion. I want a conga. So I'll put in conga instead. See what it comes up with. They're one shots. Okay, conga. Okay. too loud. Can we turn the volume down on that? Maybe not. Okay, well I've had to turn myself on that beat up a bit so this doesn't totally out of place, which it does. Why is that so bloody loud? Maybe it's just a sample. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm going to turn it up again. And I can't turn me up anymore without turning the mixer up part. I can turn the input level. Yeah, I do. Okay, yeah, this should work. Just turn the input level down in Streamlabs. That way I can keep the volume of the drums all good. Okay. Sounds like the timing on these loops isn't great, but should be able to loop it, I think. Loop the samples. I'd be very surprised if you can't. Maybe it's in preferences. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've used this, so I'm going to be finding my way around it again. Drag these over, I might be able to play with them. Not really feeling that one. That could work. It's got a clap in it as well, but it could work. So we'll just put it there. And that one as well. There's got to be more than that. I might even have to look in. I can look under. Maybe I'll have a look under Afro-Cuban stuff, so I'll add another folder. Drum and bass, Afro-Cuban beats, here we go. We're going to have a heap of percussion in here. Only thing is, they won't be at those tempos, so I might have to play around with it. Let's see how we go, it's loading up. Have to like double the speed up on these potentially to get them to give us that roll that we want with drum and bass. zouk. That kind of works. Oh, I like that. Just the start part. Take part of it. So there's two there we can take. So that's got shakers and stuff in it too. So look, we'll take both of those. Throw them over here. Let's keep looking though. These ones are really quiet. It's really subtle until you turn it up. Might take that one over. One shots. That's okay. Not exactly what I was thinking about, but you know what? Let's put it over there just for the sake of having it. Keep going. The idea I'm going for is I want it to create more tension. I want it to fill some of those gaps to speed it up the track. So it's got to, you can't just sort of, that's not doing it, you know. Sounds like me playing percussion. There we go. Some of those like 16ths and creates a little bit more. The movement pushes the track. Not really sold on that. We're going to put it over there anyway because it is the sort of vibe we're wanting. Ooh. Maybe. Again, these once we EQ these and potentially put some reverb or whatever on them and turn them up and compress them and stuff like that, they're going to take a slightly different. Wow, that's sort of what we're looking for. Something that just moves the track. We want it to build. That's kind of cool. A little bit more space, but kind of cool still. You're going to end up with so much here. But then what we'll do is we'll throw it into the arrangement and see what works. And sometimes it'll be the one you didn't suspect that'll work because you can't make the most. See, both of those are kind of cool as well. can't make the hottest track with the most awesome snare and the most awesome kick and the most awesome hat. And I remember trying to do shit like that, and you just end up with too much. You got to find that nice. Like, they'll be awesome in their own right, but if you know what I mean, you can't just. Things have got to sit in the pocket. It'd be like having a jazz track where all the musos are trying to have their solo at the same time. Nothing wrong with solos, they're amazing, but kind of like that. That's the same, but on a. We're going to take those as well. I like that because it's the same rhythm, but slightly different tones. I think we've got quite a few here now, so we can probably afford to be a little bit fussier and go through and get rid of some of those earlier ones that were just mediocre. Has everyone had enough of the beat already? Welcome to production. Kind of cool. The other thing I probably should have been listening to was maybe having the bass go, some of the melodic elements as well, because percussion, bongos especially in your bongos have got a tone, so you're going to want to make sure that they're actually in keeping with what we're doing. That's kind of cool as a fill. Okay, that's enough. We've got more than enough percussion. What I might do is we might have a look at bear with me here. Okay, we're going to go to the funk folder. I'm going to have a look for some open hats. Hearing something else. So, geez, my ears are starting to burn out a little. Okay, so we've got a heap of percussion loops there. So let's start playing with one of those on this breakdown. Let's just have a listen to what we've got here. There's quite a few. So I can drag these over here. Actually, even where they are, just I'm just going to put these all into one batch here and then drop the loop on top, and we're just going to go through and cull out what we don't want. Make them all the same length so we get enough of, is that like a one shot or something? Duplicate it. Okay. Oh, it's totally out of time. Wow. That's why I wouldn't have to drag it. Because that. Okay. So we're actually got to warp this one. Wow, even all this is different. There's more. There's more warp. Oh, there we go. I think so. I think that looks pretty good now. It's almost on. So then we want to grab. Sound of it. Hold up as well. There we go. Hoping that's on the one now. So I can dupe that. That should be in time. Fingers crossed. I'll have to do that with this one as well. Okay, so the warp function is what, for anyone that's not familiar with Ableton Live, the warp function is what its trademark thing was. It was, so originally I used Acid Pro, which was all about loops. And but then these guys sort of changed the game by having elastic loops, where you can actually move things around in it, which is really cool. Revolutionized sample-based music production, without a doubt. And just put everything up on the ones, but sometimes that can kill your swing if you've got some swing. And what are these? These are percussion loops, so chances are I may have actually killed the swing. We'll give it a go, see what happens. Listen. Why isn't that playing? dupe that. Okay. These ones can come over. And we're just going to listen to all of these playing with the beat on their own and just pick out. Oh, that's the wrong ones. Undo. Pick out which ones are going to stay, which ones are going to go. In the end, we may probably only keep one of these. So, see, that one's going to be quiet when we listen back to it. So we just go down here and nudge up the gain, make the wave file. There we go. So it sort of matches the other ones. There we go. To the left, I think. How are we going for time? I've actually got to get off here soon. We're almost done. The time I spent most of it troubleshooting, but it's all good. The way I look at it is, you can't beat yourself up about not getting as much output creatively as you wanted to, because every bit of troubleshooting, every bit of, oh shit, I've got to watch a YouTube clip on this, it had to happen for you to get to the next step. So that's how I always look at it. The fact that I'm actually here, there's a Mark Riboulet that's a video that's gone nuts on TikTok. It's, what is it? You got to show up if you want to get it done. If you don't show up, ain't nothing getting done. I can't remember what it is. It's quite funny. But that's pretty much it. Okay, so those volumes are going to vary a little. This one looks a little bit quieter, so we might just bring it up a smidge. I could just throw a compressor on the channel. That'd sort it out for us. But that's all right. What's this? Oh, that was a fill. So it's going to be out on its own. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to grab the loop, which is this and these, and we're going to copy those, and we're going to place them right here, paste. These we're going to move out of the way again, and then we're going to paste that again, and then we're just going to duplicate it out. Oh, mother. Okay, you saw what I just did then. Okay, so we're not going to do that. That, and we're going to unselect that, and we're going to duplicate that. There we go. Now we're working. Okay, cool. Now we can have a listen to these percussive parts and pick out which one is going to sort of do the part we want it to do. Okay, that's just a fill. Actually, for the sake of the experiment, we're going to throw some EQ on this. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to, let's delete out a few more of these. There. See, those three there are slightly different tones. This one doubles up, I think, but they've got a second. Too much for the shakers. Kind of like that. I like that one as a fill idea, maybe breakdown of some sort. Maybe we shuffle up the rhythm. That needs to be EQ'd, get a bit more bass out of it. So it's like narrowing it down. So that one breathes, whereas this one just is. That one doesn't quit, just rolls it out. These ones both breathe a little. This is, that's something different. So we've knotted it down to a few. We'll take these out over now and have a listen to them with the rest of the musical elements in there to see if any of the tones in these samples are actually clashing with the key of the track. And it's basically like it takes all the guesswork out of it, really. Like, we know what we're looking for. We're looking for a percussive loop that's going to push the track, not slow it down. So we want something that's kind of busy because it's going to fill those gaps in the rhythm to add more tension. But then it's got to be in key. So that's another restrictive part of this. That fill I'll leave there. So let's just have a listen. If I put these in here. Okay, just do one at a time, see how it sounds. Let's do it with the rest of the track. Here we go. It's funny listening to that loop on its own. You wouldn't expect it to. Let's create another channel here. You wouldn't expect it to shuffle the track the way that it does just listening to it on its own, and that's kind of what I was getting at before. Like, it's not always about having the most amazing loop. It's about having the space. So the space in that made it sound busier because there was a gap that it could fill. Let's just push these now forward so we can preview these last ones with that loop. Okay. I didn't mind those three there. That's definitely not getting used as a hookup. Keeping that for something else though. I like that, it's subtle. That one might be a bit too busy. I like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to consolidate that one there into one loop. Okay. And we're going to push that to the back with the other samples. And just keep it as a nice to have for a breakdown or something, maybe, because it's a little bit extreme for anything else. Okay, then sort these out. I didn't mind these ones either. Sunshine, how you doing? How you doing? We're almost done actually. I'm wrapping up in 9 minutes. This is our production stream. We've been failing, oh, excuse me, I need more coffee. Failing at getting it online, but yeah, I have to rewire the studio to a degree to make it work. It's a little bit of mucking around, so we were a little late getting on the stream, but we've got it going. So, part of it anyway, part of it. But yeah, we're just working on a track that I did for Andrew, and we're just working on a drum and bass remix or edit of it. Yeah, man, I can check Insta. What's going on with Insta? Was Insta actually... We were meant to be live on Insta I don't know how long the lives go for though. They probably boot you off at some point. Oh, okay, you sent me a message. Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, man, I'm actually going live again tonight. Otherwise I would. But I don't know if anyone would want to watch it either. That's one thing about doing the Sunshine. I started doing these streams. I think I did the first one about 7-8 weeks ago, but then it was the first thing to get cancelled each week as things popped up. So yeah, I think I've only done it 2 other times before this. So hence why it's taking me a little bit of time. I haven't got used to setting it up yet. So I've actually got to reset it back up the other way for the other cameras and everything. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like I'm doing, the main reason I'm doing this stream is a lot of people don't get into it. It's boring as batshit listening to the same loop over and over and over. But I'm doing it because if I set a schedule and I'm accountable to you guys, then I'm going to show up. I'm not going to leave you guys in the lurch. Not that, again, not that many people come through and watch it, but it just forces me to do this because I need to do this. This is what got me into music. This is why I love music. So I've got to do it for myself because it's the first thing to get put on the bench. And yeah, I want to finish some music. So yeah, here we are. But I don't know if I'd do replays of it. Test talk. I'm not 100% sure if I do. We could because it won't get muted. So maybe we will. But again, I don't want to scare people off. Like we're generating most of our followers through doing DJ sets currently. I am looking at trying to look at diversifying a little bit. Like I'm open to do some of a soul food section in the kitchen, where we're making stuff that we've harvested out of the yard and got the soul music playlist playing in the background. So we'll probably look at incorporating that. We've had to cancel half our shows though. You probably saw our schedule. I've had to pull the pin on a lot of them just because I can't do the late night shifts anymore. I'm just going to be squeezing in on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, majority of the streams during the day while the kids are at school, and maybe in the evenings. But again, that's hard because then it puts all the responsibility of the kids' nighttime routines on Andrea. So yeah, got to make an effort to do this, but I've also got to keep the fam in mind. So where were we? But yeah, also with the stats, I don't want to damage my stats by doing too many of these streams where people don't tune in either. So doing replays of this, I don't know, maybe as we get it, fine tune it and get it a little bit more interesting. But you know, I've got to find the fun parts because mixing down tracks is not that fun. Getting ideas down is really cool and quick, but yeah, getting the actually mixing the tracks down, the science and everything behind that, like it's interesting to me, but it's not interesting to a lot of other people. So I don't want to bore everyone to death. So anyway, where were we? I've got 4 minutes now. I'm going to try and at least get a little bit more of this arrangement sorted. We were looking for the percussion loop to put it with this drum and bass beat. So We're narrowing it down, but listen to what that sounds. This one sounds like with the breakdown section. Oh shit, wrong loop. This one. Bring it over. Actually, let's have a listen to what these ones sound So it needs to work on its own as well as work in the mix with the beat, because we're going to strip it back and use it in the breakdowns. So I like that. That's all of the closer. Here we go, we're getting down to, what have we got it down to? We've got it down to 6 different samples here. I like this one because it's got 3 variations. That's the 3rd variation there, which is kind of cool. I like that because that's different to all the others. It's got more of a roll to it, but that one's nice, but it's busy. A lot going on in there. Once we start throwing vocals down, okay, so I think look, I like the little run on the end of that, so we'll keep that aside as a run, potentially. Put that at the end. I like that. Getting it down. Okay. So we've got two there I'm keeping that maybe as a variation. And I don't even know if we'll keep them like that. I don't know if we'll use the whole thing. We may tighten them up. But yeah, anyway, we culled it down from like however many percussive loops we had there. And we didn't get the arrangement done. I'm going to have to clock off because I've got to get ready to do school pickups and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with what we got through. So we extended out the breakdown sections, we extended out the chorus sections for a D&B edit because that's typically D&B, DJing. It's more of that sort of a track instead of it being a soul track where we can transition between sections quicker. But yeah, we've still got a long way to go with that. But yeah, I'm happy with what we got done, and we'll come back next week and keep chipping away at it, and try and get an edit of it in the bag. It won't be too hard from here, in the sense now that we've got, I think, all the drum elements that we really want. The only thing we'll need to now start playing around with is fills, and that can take a little bit more time. That's more mixing and stuff, and whether or not everyone's got the capacity to sit through, that's another thing. So. But anyway, that was awesome. Thanks for hanging out. I hope anyone watching this back on later through the VOD, this will be stored on YouTube and stuff. Hopefully it's valuable to someone out there. But yeah, that's us for today. Respect Music signing off. Love, respect, and music always. We will be back this afternoon. We're meant to be on at 4 p.m, but we probably won't be on until closer to 5:30 p.m. for, what have we got on? We've got our Soul show, and then we're going to be raiding into the ANZ Raiders for whatever Wednesdays. So yeah, I'll catch you later on this afternoon, this evening. Test Talk, Dana, thanks for coming through and hanging out. And I hope you aren't batshit crazy from hearing that loop for like 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was. Cool. I'll